You did learn some of those tricky C and A and D chords, I can tell. I'm just here to briefly share a little bit about Tamati's life in Christian camps. I was involved in Christian camps for a while, and it was a real passion of Tamati's to be involved in Christian camps. I probably met him, at least 25 years ago, and I quickly found that he loved his music, he loved Christian camping, he loved kids, he loved his hockey, and he related to kids so well. He used to go to the Lake Taupo Christian camp, as it was known then, a lot, and the holiday camps, and be with the kids and play the music and share the Lord with them. He loved going to Forest Lakes camp down in Otaki, and he used to often say, "Ted, I'm off to Forest Lakes for Easter. I'm helping with the music down there," and he just loved it. He used to go to Totara Springs camp. They had a sports camp up there in January, and he used to go there to play his hockey. And then he got involved in Riverbend camp down in Hawke's Bay. They had a sports camp there and Labour weekend. And he used to go down there initially in the early days, probably in the 90s, and playing his hockey for his team. But then for many, many years after that, he was a referee, umpire. He must have had quite good eyesight, because I know in the last few years he wouldn't have been running very far up and down the line. He'd just be watching from a distance because he wasn't too mobile in those last few years. But he just loved it. He was always looking forward to going down to Riverbend. I remember actually one time at that camp, I was there I think I was there for music or playing sport or something. And at one of the devotion times, I remember being at the front of the church and Tamati actually praying for me. He also, I used to be involved at a camp called Stony Creek Ranch out of Hastings, and he turned up there and he used to come and again play the music, play with the kids, talk to the kids. The kids would sort of gravitate to him because he was so easy to sort of sit there and talk, and he usually had a guitar in his hand, and he always had ideas of how we could do things better. But I remember one particular time, it must have been a day or so before we started our kids camp, and I was in bed asleep. It was about 1 or 2 in the morning. I heard this noisy car coming up our road, which was a little short no exit road. Didn't get too many cars there. And this car was rattling along up this road. The exhaust pipe was scraping on the ground. It was loud as. And I heard him. It woke me up, and I heard him come to our drive. But he didn't come in our drive. He went up the neighbour's drive to the wool shed and made a terrible noise. And I was just lying thinking, man, what's going on here? Who's what's going on? What's happening? And he turned around up by the wool shed, and then he came back, and then he came in our drive. And he came into our house drive. And I thought, oh man, 1, 2 in the morning, and it's a loud, noisy car. What's going on? So I knock on the door, so I go to the door in the dark, and here's this big Maori guy standing there, and I was freaked out, as you can imagine. And he had a bag with him, and I opened the door and realised who it was. He says, "Ted, I bought you a bag of car wire I got up the Wairoa River." At 2 o'clock in the morning, I didn't care about some stinking car wire, but he stayed there and he helped us out with the camp. He was a good man, and I've enjoyed being back with him the last few years since I've come to Taupo and playing music with him again. He's just got so much to teach us, and we've just enjoyed playing with him. He was amazing, and I remember once I was travelling from Auckland to Hawke's Bay, where I used to live, and he said to me, he says, "Oh, I play at the sailing club down there on Sunday afternoon." He says, "Come in sometime, So this day I was travelling, I thought, I'll just go and listen to Tamati. So I walked into the sailing club there, and Tamati says, "Hey, Ted, bro, we need a drummer." So I spent the next 2 hours sitting there playing drums with Tamati and his band. But he was just so good. One time at our camp, we were doing the old typical games like you do at camps, after dinner, had all the kids there playing games, and we were playing, must have been musical chairs, when you got to have some music going and the kids have to do stuff and then stop and all that. And we didn't have a pianist. So Tamati said, "I'll play." So he gets on the guitar and away he went. Man, it was like a concert. I didn't want him to stop so the kids could find a chair. I just wanted him to keep going. He was absolutely amazing. So I just want to say thanks from the Christian camping community in New Zealand, because he had such an input, and it's such an input into so many lives. So a few years ago he left Taupo and he went back to Auckland to look after his mother. And up there he was attending a church at Mount Wellington where a man called Russell Granger was the pastor. And we've got a clip up here coming up from Russell from Auckland.
Greetings. My name is Russell Granger and I'm the senior pastor here at Mount Wellington.